just the recipients, but also the farmers that are there able to purchase from. That's the main reason it's a DO, a Department of Agriculture.
This issue is not going to go away because it's very contentious. But when you cut in any organization, government or private, it's very demoralizing, it's traumatic, and it gets lots of bad press, as we're doing right now. But that's why you cut 20% more. I think Elon's not cutting enough. Cut 20% more now. Get your spreadsheet out. These are the names. Whack everybody, and then 20% more, as we do in the private sector every day and have done for 100 years in private equity, and hire back when the organization gels. That way, the demoralization only happens once. You don't want to cut multiple times.
But in that,
more whacking.
Let me just, can I explain to you that this is when running...
You don't need to explain it to me. I know how it works.
But no, you don't, because
Actually,
when you...
I do. I've done it multiple times.
But yeah, that's in the private sector. And you cannot run...
This is worse than the private sector.
You cannot run everyday government the same way you run the
fat dripping with waste government.
I'm not talking about fat dripping with waste government.
What do we have?
What if I told you in the South right now in red states? Do you know the #1 cause?
What does this have to do with red or blue?
Can I finish my question? Do you know the #1 cause for children underperforming in schools right now?
Bad educators.
No, hungry. As a former.
No. Let me finish.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
Let me finish.
I actually, my whole career was in education.
That's my point of bringing that up to you.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you had things like the free and reduced lunch program. You had the summer lunch program. Yes. You had programs that were expanded so kids could actually. So I'm not arguing with you about your expertise in the private sector, but what I am saying is that a 20% cut or whack, you're cutting from Allendale Fairfax High School and Birmingham High School.
Okay.
You're cutting from places that really matter.
You want to talk about high schools in America? That's what I did for 14 years.
I also was a high school teacher.
Boy. So we got to talk about President Trump doing something that I have been calling for a few weeks now, okay, as the deranged leftists have been committing acts of violence in the name of trying to bankrupt Elon Musk, okay? They have been attacking Teslas, people who own Teslas, Tesla dealerships. Tesla dealerships have been shot up, okay? There's been acts of violence and vandalism as a result of these far-left extremists turning to violence over political disagreements, which is something that the left does all the time, by the way, right? Just understand, this is just the left doing what they do, right? Committing acts of violence, being domestic terrorists, okay, when they can't get their way. And President Trump has basically sent a message to these leftists that, hey, we're not playing games, okay? You will be labeled a domestic terrorist. We will charge you with domestic terrorism for vandalizing and destroying property in the name of trying to protest against Elon Musk, okay? And let's just say the mainstream liberal media and the Democrats are not happy about this. Take a look.
But then you also overnight have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. Now, you know I am judicious in how I play this sound, but I think you need to hear it from him.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
So just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
Or attacking Teslas or dealerships, going beyond vandalism, that could be an act of domestic terrorism. But I do want to ask about this as resistance. Is this what resistance should look like?
So Trump thinks that if you try to kill cops to overthrow the government and change an election, that's not domestic terrorism, but somehow having a protest in front of a Tesla dealership is. The bottom line with Trump is freedom and liberties belong to people who agree with him, and that's it. That's his view of America. That's not a view that people who believe in our Constitution share.
Congressman,
what can Democrats do if these trade wars go off the rails and stay in place, creating a recession?
So, Sarah, what I saw yesterday was that President Trump really only cares about Tesla's stock price. He turned the White House into a car show trying to help put a floor under the plummeting stock value.
Yeah, so you see that, you hear that. The liberal media and the Democrats once again revealing that they don't care about domestic terrorism or violence that happens as a result of political disagreements. Okay, these are the same people that will cry all day long about January 6th. January 6th was so bad. It was so terrible, right? But these are the same people that supported the BLM riots, the Roe v. Wade riots, the Antifa riots, the pro-Palestine riots, and now the anti-Elon Musk riots, right? They support every single act of domestic terrorism from the left. They have nothing to say about it, but they want to boo-hoo on and cry about one day, right? Get out of here. Again, this is why nobody takes the Democrats and the liberal media seriously, okay? Because if you actually cared about domestic violence, then you would speak out against domestic violence, the domestic terrorism that is happening to Elon Musk and his company, right? You will be against it, but they're not against it. They're totally for it. They're totally for it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and react to this CNN panel trying to justify domestic violence and extremism.
Does it look bad at a time when Americans are struggling?
Right.
To have the president hawking cars for the richest guy in the world because his political endeavors.
Does it look bad for the president to support an American company that employs thousands of American workers?
No,
yes.
no.
I don't think it looks bad.
No, he's supporting Elon Musk.
Who do you think builds the cars, brother?
Elon Musk builds the cars?
No, the workers of the United States of America, where they build the. I mean, they're
what
building
I'm telling
cars.
you right now is the way I look
He's
at
not
that
the only person that
is
works there.
I look at the president doing a favor for another one of his rich homeboys.
So you don't like this company because you don't like Elon Musk that he supported Trump.
Tesla.
I know, but you're mad that he's supporting the company.
Let's
because you don't like the
perhaps
political.
the White House can bring Ford next week.
Fine.
And then Chevy, because when
they're routinely at the White House. And in fact, during the Biden
and
administration, they were at the White House, and he excluded Elon Musk.
Yeah, and that's
from
why.
the
That's
How
why.
about some small
Facts. Again, that's why when these people come out here and they start boo-hooing, Trump had Elon at the White House with a Tesla outside. We hate it. He's doing favors for his rich homeboy. It's like, well, Biden, they were doing the same thing, right? There's nothing wrong with the president promoting an American brand. In fact, I mean, I would like to see our presidents, okay, our leaders, our politicians, support American brands, right? That's what they should be doing. They should be telling people, hey, buy American. Again, the same stuff happened under Democrats and nobody complained about it. Nobody had anything to say. Nobody had anything to say.
Mr. President.
This sucker's quick.
How's it drive? How does it feel? President, would you buy one of these?
I would.
How does it feel to be behind the wheel, sir?
It feels great. I tell you what, these electric vehicles. Now, I don't know if anybody has a stopwatch, but I think if we're going 0 to 60 in about 4.3. 4.4?
Right.
4 flat?
Well, we haven't released it president.
Oh, I should be quiet.
Mr. President, how fast were you going?
Okay, I'm just going to step on it. I'll come off at 80 miles an hour. You'll see what it is, okay?
Yeah, so where are all these people boo-hooing and crying about Biden doing favors for his rich friends at Ford as he's running around as president of the United States driving a Ford F-150 Lightning, right? What about that? Where was all the outrage, right? Where was all the outrage? Oh, these people were silent. They didn't care, right? They don't care when Democrats are running around in electric vehicles, okay, telling people to buy electric vehicles. Oh, but let President Trump have a Tesla at the White House. Oh, terrible, right? So bad. He's doing favors for his rich friends. Again, this is the first time I've ever seen liberals be upset about a Republican promoting an electric vehicle, right? I thought these people were all for renewable energy and saving the planet. I guess saving the planet is not as important as hating Elon Musk, right? Having Elon Musk go broke, which, by the way, is not going to help with the goal of saving the planet, right? In fact, they probably should want Elon to stay rich if climate change is such an existential threat as they claim. Again, these people are giant hypocrites. Can't stand them.
Small business. How about Brooklyn Tea or a small black business?
Apparently Donald Trump needs a car.
Let me play what Trump also said about what you were talking about, Scott, the vandalism, the criminal activity that's been going on around Teslas. Listen.
As he talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships, some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. When you do that, those people are going to go through a big problem when we catch them.
Is he wrong? Are they not vandalizing a great American company? Is Tesla not a great American company?
I didn't say he was. I didn't say he was wrong.
So
No,
Elon put himself under. He's like an ant under a microscope. He's doing something that's been so needed for so long. He's just simply saying, "Look at what I found here. Look at what I found here. Look at the waste. Look at the fraud. Look at and you
they're doing a
can't
terrible
execute
job.
it.
The thing
And
that
if you
the
don't
thing
like
about that
it,
clip,
you don't have to do anything about it. But he's pointing it out. This guy.
Well, first of all, we should say this.
He's a hero.
He's a
friggin' hero.
So we should say this, yeah. The animus that surrounds Elon Musk doesn't just have to do with Tesla. It has to do with some of the things that Elon Musk does on social media, some of the ways Twitter is being run. Like the eroding of Elon Musk's reputation has to do with a lot of things.
It's his reputation. He's doing it, and he's a
the
hero.
point of that clip,
he's not. Let me just tell you. Let me explain. Let me give you one
example. The point of that clip, Kevin and Van, was also that Trump seemed to agree that there should be domestic terror charges for people who were.
Why are they singling out Teslas? I mean, why? Because Elon Musk supports Donald Trump. These people are chasing Tesla owners. They might chase you someday.
So you agree on the domestic terror?
Purchased in 2019.
I don't know. Look, Elon Musk currently holds a position of trust in our government. He is a top advisor to the President of the United States, and there's clearly a bunch of people out there who are targeting him and his products specifically. If that's not terrorism, I'm not sure what is. They are terrorizing people who bought an Elon Musk
something
product.
I think I should say.
Yeah, it is terrorism. I mean, that's just what it is. Now, again, the Democrats and liberal media, the fact that they're silent about it, the fact that they're not covering it in a way they should be covering it, because they should be talking about it negatively, but they're not, right? They're not talking about it negatively, right? The only thing they're saying about it is that Trump labeled the liberals domestic terrorists, right? That's what they're saying. They're actually upset that President Trump is punishing crime, right? Trying to crack down on crime, okay? But again, what Democrats don't understand is that this right here, this type of situation is exactly why they don't have any credibility. This is exactly why people see their party as too extreme. This is exactly why people don't believe them when they come out here and they boo-hoo whine and cry about January 6th. Because again, every single time their supporters engage in domestic terrorism, when they engage in political violence, Democrats turn the other way, right? They look the other way. They refuse to acknowledge it. They refuse to condemn it. So you can't come out here and start condemning people for political violence over January 6th when, again, your people, you support the political violence that they engage in. You support domestic terrorism when it's done for a cause that you agree with, right? That's what Democrats do. And again, the fact that they're not condemning this, the fact they're not saying anything about it, again, it tells you everything you need to know. It's why the attacks against January 6th were ineffective. Because it was coming from people who have no room whatsoever to talk about political violence in this country. These are the main people who support political violence in this country.
My son works for Elon in Fremont. He goes through a gauntlet of protesters every day to do his job. It's outrageous.
That's America. I think that's okay.
It's not okay.
No. Let me clarify. I do not think when you disagree with somebody's political views that violence or destruction of property is the way to go. I'll say that
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because you support BLM, you support the Roe v. Wade rioters, you support all these domestic terrorists because you're not actively speaking out about it, right? You're not actively coming out here and saying, guys, this is wrong, right? We should not be doing this, okay? If you're not actively speaking up against it, then you support it. It's really that simple. And again, because Democrats are silent on this, because they're not actively speaking out against the domestic terrorism that's happening, in which, you know, a lot of liberals could get hurt, by the way. Like, I mean, let's be real. Liberals still drive Tesla, right? For as much as they hate Elon, Tesla apparently is such a good product, which is part of the reason why I'm going to buy a Tesla, okay, this year or next year, okay? One day soon, even though I'm not an EV guy, okay? I'm not an EV guy, but the leftists, they're forcing my hand, okay? I got to support Elon. But yeah, his products apparently are so good that liberals still are driving the Teslas. They're still buying the Teslas despite the fact they hate Elon, okay? Because, again, the product is that good. So, you know, Democrats here, in my opinion, I think they're showing a lack of concern for people, including, again, liberals, their own supporters who drive Teslas, who could be subject to acts of violence from these left-wing extremists, right? And that's why them not speaking out against this is so bad, in my opinion. It's so damning because, again, you're putting your own supporters at risk.
Said that before on issues that I agree with, on issues I disagree with. There's a different way. But when you decide to go into the public forefront, to work in government, you do expose yourself to, we have a First Amendment for the reason. You go through, people protest. I don't think that people should not be able to protest because you think Elon Musk is a hero and your son works there. I think that if you don't agree with him,
I just want
protest.
to disclose it.
Yeah, but this is beyond just peaceful protesting. These people are not peacefully protesting. They're shooting up Tesla dealerships, right? That's what they're doing. Okay, they're blowing up Teslas. Straight up, they're setting Teslas on fire. Okay, that's what they're doing. This is beyond just, they're doing a peaceful protest. These people are committing violent acts. That's what's happening.
Proud of that he's finding the waste, the dripping fat.
I don't think that's what he's doing now.
Corruption of government.
I don't think that's what's
But you
happening.
admit there's a difference between protesting
Elon Musk,
and the more violent
with
acts
the
that we're
territory.
seeing.
Yes,
and I mean, I think that's the point that Ashley is making, is that he takes this job, and it's not just, as Van pointed out, it's not just Doge. Elon Musk is a target because he's pushed, frankly, the great replacement theory on social media, which people consider to be a white supremacist theory. He's done a lot of controversial things in his life.
There's been Nazism on his...
Look,
a
lot
of
controversial guy. He takes
so
the
it's
heat
not
every day.
just the Doge.
Why don't we form a committee?
Listen to this journalist trying to justify it, right? Did she ever condemn the violence? Did she ever say, hey, can we all agree that this is wrong, right? Can we all agree this is wrong? Again, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to CNN and the liberal media. If what was happening, was a bunch of right-wingers who were shooting up, I don't know, some company associated with some leftist activists, that overtly supports the Democrat Party. Mark Cuban, for example, right? Let's say that people were vandalizing, I don't know, the Mavericks arena, or something like that, committing acts of violence, against Mark Cuban and his companies due to the fact that they don't like Mark Cuban supporting Kamala Harris. Do you think that Abby Phillip and CNN and these liberals will be covering that story the same way they're covering it right now? Do you think they'd be trying to low-key justify? Do you think they'd be saying, well, Mark Cuban signed up for this, right? He decided to become a political activist, so therefore he deserves it, right? Do you think they'd be trying to justify it? No, they wouldn't be trying to justify it. They would be condemning it. They'd be saying, no, this is wrong, that you should not be doing this. But again, because it's happening, Elon Musk, who supports Trump, they're low-key trying to justify it. Well, he kind of signed up for it. He signed up to have Tesla dealerships shot up. Again, this is ridiculous.
Tonight saying Doge plus 20%. Join me in saying we're not whacking enough.
Don't put me
Let's
in that.
whack more. Come on. We're saving your money. It's your taxpayer money. Whack
What I will say this is, every time you whack something, you look at it, you come from the private sector, right? You look at it as whack, saving money, CEO, all kinds. I think of the American lives.
I'm saving jobs.
I think of hungry kids. I think of people that aren't getting essential services. I think of the people that I grew up with in Baton Rouge who need a social safety net because of years and years of
You really
wealth
think
disparity.
Elon's running around saying, let's starve children? That's not what he's doing.
It doesn't matter if he's trying
it.
to do it.
He's
it
doing
matters,
it.
It matters if it happens.
He's finding waste in government.
But dispassionate speech is why no one ever cuts the government. I mean, everybody says they want to do it until somebody tries, and then we get all the speeches
I'm not saying,
and all
you
that.
said
No
this
one will
last
ever
night.
do it.
It's not, there are other places you could start to cut the government. You could start at the defense, but we're not. We're starting at
Is that the only thing you want to cut?
No,
You said that last night.
No, I said, like,
Hasn't passed an audit. I mean,
it's just like,
these other places have been audited by Inspector
why
General.
start at the
That is what they're doing. They're going to go to defense, right? In fact, they've announced that, yes, they're going to be, going after the Pentagon as well, too. But, yeah, I mean, Scott is right. That is the reason why spending never gets cut, because people start boohoo, whining, and crying, right? Once you start cutting spending. In my own personal opinion, I think that it is the job of parents generally to feed their children, right? Not the government, but parents, to get a job, work to feed your child. If you can't afford a child, don't have a child, But again, you can't say stuff like that. That's mean, You're not looking out for your fellow neighbor and stuff like that. This is what they say when you tell people, hey, take some personal responsibility for the situation that you're in, and stop relying on the government to do your job. But again, the point of this video, Democrats and liberals exposing themselves once again for how much they support and love political violence. They love domestic terrorism when it supports a cause that they agree with, right? And they're showing you their silence in condemning these acts of violence against Elon Musk and his companies. Again, it's really stunning, right? It really is. It shows you exactly what they believe, that they love political violence. that, again, is in support of something they agree with. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.